What do you want to be when you grow up? What are you studying to become in college? Every little kid at the age of 5 to high school has heard the first question. Every college student has heard the second question, whether it's a family member, a friend, an associate at work, or even a teacher at school. You will be asked this question constantly. My answer is always, I want to be a criminal psychologist. I am studying to become a criminal psychologist. The most famous response that I get from people, you know that's not a real thing, right? Or, oh, like they don't believe me. In my future field, the problem that I get the most is people don't seem to think that criminal psychology is a real thing. The problem in my field is the field itself. It seems like something imaginary. Today, I'm going to be discussing the reason that criminal psychology is a real thing, why I love it, and some history, not necessarily history, but some facts about it that can prove that it's a real thing. First, let me shed a little light on why I love the field. When I was young, like every kid, I watched Criminal Minds with my mom. It was one of our favorite shows. We watched it constantly for years. I always thought that it was interesting that these FBI agents were able to get inside the minds of criminals, were able to figure out their next move, why they're doing what they're doing, get inside their heads without even knowing who these people are in order to catch them. I used to think that'd be something cool to do in the future. So I began to research it, and I found out that it was an actual field of work. It was called criminal psychology. And so I began to do more research, and I eventually bought a Criminal Minds book. Here's the book itself. This book talks about serial killers, the different behaviors that they had, the crimes that they committed, and how they committed them, and how they were caught. And I always thought that that was very interesting. And so reading this book is what really made me fall in love with criminals and their minds. Criminal Minds, of course. Now let's discuss what criminal minds or criminal psychology actually is. Criminal psychology is not what a lot of people believe it is. Many people believe that you have the criminal laying on a couch and you're acting like a typical therapist or shrink. How does that make you feel? Why did you do this? What kind of daddy issues did you have as a kid? But that's not what criminal psychology is. Criminal psychologists, yes, spend one-on-one time with criminals. And as many believe, yes, it is true. Criminal psychologists will study the behaviors, the actions, and the thoughts, basically, of what criminals do. That's what criminal psychology is, the study of criminals and their behaviors. They study these things and crime scenes in order to catch a criminal before they can commit more crimes, such as murderers, like in Criminal Minds. But in the end, that's not the only thing that criminal psychologists do. Criminal psychologists also continue to study the same criminals' behaviors and thoughts and history in order to help them after they've been apprehended. Criminal psychologists can almost be like a rehab for criminals. There's so much that criminal psychologists do in order to help criminals. It's not just police officers and typical FBI agents that are out there, but people don't seem to believe that. Criminal psychology is a passion of mine, not just a future career. It's a passion for criminals. It's a passion for their minds, a passion for how they think, their behaviors, why they do what they do, and how I could possibly help them. It may be scary to think that, yes, I will have to spend one-on-one time with these criminals. I will have to get to know them and maybe even let them get to know me a little bit in order to help them and in order to catch them. I may have fallen in love with them because of some stupid TV show, but in the end it'll be completely something different. In the end, people think criminal psychology is a lie. I know that after I actually become a criminal psychologist, I'll go from the question of what are you studying to become and what do you want to be when you grow up to, well, what do you do? What is your career? What is your profession? I will still get the answers of, oh, like, that's not a real thing, or is that a real thing? And I'll have the pleasure of teaching these people what my profession is and why I love it so much. and I hope to share this passion with anyone that I can and solve the problem of people thinking that criminal psychology is not a real thing. Because in the end, the solution is to teach people that my career is an actual career. Thank you.